If you're like me and you've enjoyed playing quite a bit of Battlefield 5 on PC over the years, you might want to get a few more rounds in while you can, because it looks like a lot of EA games, this game is dying a pretty quick and unceremonious death to rage hackers. Well, I joined the only Battlefield 5 server that had open slots, and there's not just a hacker on here deleting the entire server. He's in a clan with other hackers who are also like competing to delete the other team as fast as possible. There's 3 of them on here running cheats. Ever since support for the game officially ended, Battlefield 5 has had quite a bit of hackers running around with some pretty obvious cheats. But I've also noticed that games like BattleFRONT 2 recently are just being overtaken by the hackers who are spamming URLs to buy the hacks openly in the chat. EA is just not enforcing the anti-cheat for these older games at all. Recently, when trying to play just a couple of matches of Battlefield 5, I had to hop from server to server as competing clans of hackers traveled around, emptying each server and then switching out to the next. And yes, the chat here is going to be extra censored because I don't want to give these guys any extra attention or accidentally share their URLs. No, I think these hackers are just jumping from server to server now. The chat's complaining about him joining this one, it looks like. I think that's them, at least. This was a good match, too, so far. Great, you're a skinny white boy that watches anime. Someone just keeps typing "oh whoa" in the chat. I think it's one of the hackers. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's like a script. Oh, yep, it's official. The hacking clan is here. The whole clan full of hackers is in this server now. Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't get it. This is so dumb. Imagine spending your time like this. Boy, I'm glad this game has chat alright. Missing out on this gold here. They've been here for a few minutes, but I haven't seen them myself yet. But of course, they're on the enemy team. I swear, this thing is missing an upgrade. It cannot turn at all. Although I guess it does have 4 wheels in a straight line there on each side, so makes sense. This is gotta be awful for turning. Oh, that was a that was a ridiculous shot. Oh, oh, he's speed hacking. Holy crap, he's teleporting in circles around the tank. I've never seen that in Battlefield before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen speed hacking in Battlefield.
How's he picking targets, though?
Yeah.
Why is he just ignoring me? Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. No, there he is. He's throwing like 1,000 AT grenades. My turret can't even track that fast. What a weird way to spend your time. Alright, well, I'm gonna go get some sleep. Like I said at the start, this has always been an issue for older EA titles, and not old, just older. As soon as EA releases the next sequel to a multiplayer game, what limited support there might have been for any anti-cheat that the previous game had is just immediately out the window. I occasionally see a rage hacker get banned, a hacker who's just doing it to show off, emptying out entire servers, but only when the devs are tagged on social media or there's some other kind of extra negative attention. Once an EA game has passed its prime, there really isn't any kind of enforcement of the anti-cheat policy. And interestingly enough, I think this issue here on PC has been getting worse as the last decade has rolled on. Looking back to Battlefield 3 and 4, at least we had the option for community servers where there could be some community enforcement. And yeah, I get that sometimes, you know, a high-end streamer or a really good YouTuber, myself excluded, might get put on some kind of community ban list, which sucks. You know, you get banned from a popular server just because you're good. But for the most part, I think community servers did more than anything to keep the older Battlefield games alive. And without the option for community enforcement and community anti-cheat, I get it. They just can't focus a ton of time and money into keeping the hackers out of the older games when it's just so very easy to hack them once they're past their prime. I'm not expecting, you know, 20 years of anti-cheat enforcement, but I think my main issue here is just the lack of community server options in modern games like Battlefield and Battlefront from EA. There's just no more tools in the toolbox to prevent the cheating once the official servers are overrun by the hackers. I'm also not quite sure what the point of hacking all these games is. I mean, I get that you like the negative attention maybe, and videos like this probably don't help, which is why I'm censoring everyone's names here so that they don't get any of the exact attention that they're looking for. But I was just kind of bemused by it when it happened to me. You know, it was the end of the night and I was just looking to play a couple rounds of Battlefield, and I just hopped over to a different game and had a lot of fun. Whereas it looks like, from what the chat was saying, this hacking clan, it was a whole clan based around using these cheats, had been around every night that week for hours, hopping from server to server, trying to clear it out by using the hacks. And to me, that truly is baffling. What an absolute waste of time. I kind of pity these guys. I can't imagine why you would be motivated to do that night after night. I know, speaking for myself right now, as a relatively new dad, I mean, I've got a 3-year-old now, which is crazy to think about, but I just don't have a ton of time for gaming, and I would much rather play some multiplayer games with friends, or maybe do some co-op games, or a bit of single player or something, than even worry about hacking in some of the games I used to play all the time. It's just not worth my time anymore. So I guess it's even harder for me to sit there and think, okay, so what's the point then? It really just boggles my mind. So what do you guys think, though? Is there any chance of seeing multiplayer games make somewhat of a return to community enforcement, especially as we see games like Tarkov rising in popularity and then immediately having to struggle with cheaters even in their heyday? I'm not convinced that the devs are going to win this arms race here. So I really hope that we see some kind of return to community enforcement, even if some innocent players do get caught up in that kind of dragnet. I just think the ideal solution is an official server setup with official anti-cheat, and then the option of community servers as a secondary option for when the cheating on the official servers just gets too bad. And if you're on console and think that this just isn't your problem, well, think again. And consider the direction that modern FPS games have gone, with cross-platform not only being an option in the game, but also just being the default. That's the case in Battlefield 2042, especially. Crossplay across PC and consoles is just enabled by default. This is a problem that devs have got to figure out before these games age. Although, and this is going to be a little bit cynical sounding, it wouldn't surprise me if there is some element of, well, just let these older games die, because then it pushes the players onto the newest title. I'm sad to see it happen to as awesome of a game as Battlefield 5 is, but I guess I'm going to just move up the last couple of videos and series that I still had on paper here that I wanted to do for Battlefield 5, because I am worried that this game's time is quite limited now. Anyway, for now, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.
I know they do like a lot of, there's like a lot of sites where it's like subscription based for like cheats now.
Yep.
Because that's how you get money, so you can get the most up-to-date cheats like as they come up.
I'd like to subscribe to being a loser, please.
But I can't imagine, yeah, like they're making that much off of it.
Yeah, for Battlefield 5.
Especially for like, yeah, Battlefield 5 or something like that. Now maybe if they're doing something for like Valorant or like CSGO or something like that, you know,
yeah,
Call of Duty. something that's popular and something that's always popular. Something that's always like actively getting like updates to like fight the cheats. Like it would make sense, yeah. Be trying to sell on those. Yeah, I never understand selling cheats for dead games. You know. Well, not dead games necessarily, but old games.
Well, they're trying to kill it.